Welcome to vlog number 10 and welcome to the most electrifying event of the year. Get ready to embark on a journey filled with suspense, strategy and the pursuit of a poker dream like never before. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the Belgian Poker Championship, proudly sponsored by PokerStars, the market leader where dreams are born and legends are made. Imagine just for a moment where a world of 1,100 euro buy-in can turn into a life-changing fortune, all thanks to PokerStars. This tournament is not just about the cards and the chips, it's about chasing the dream of a lifetime. With a minimum prize pool of 1 million euros, the stakes have never been higher before and the adrenaline never more intoxicating. It's a chance to prove yourself on the grandest stage held in Belgium. Join me on this unforgettable adventure as we navigate through the highs and the lows of this extraordinary poker championship. From the heart-pounding bluffs to the triumphant all-ins, we will experience it all together. So fasten your seatbelt, shuffle those cards, and let's embark a journey that may just lead us to the poker dream we've all been waiting for.
Okay guys, we are in the casino, we are registered and we are sitting at the table place 5, seat 5. That's one of the worst places to sit for making vlogs, but okay, we're gonna make and try to get the footage done. We are here, that's what we're playing for. This is a trophy of the main event winner and this is for the high roller. And the small ones are for the side events. So let's go to our table 34, seat 5. It's actually 15 minutes blind level, not 40, but 50 minutes blind levels, okay. Here is where it's going to happen. Table 34 means that we have to sitting over here.
The tables are set, the chips are stacked, and the dream is within reach. This is where legends are forged and fortunes are won. Dealers shuffle up the cards and let the game begin. In our first hand of our journey, we are in the cutoff with a stack of 46,000 and dealt the ace queen of hearts. With blinds at 100-200, we open raise to 600, displaying our intention to play our strong starting hand. The button calls our raise, as did the small blind and the big blind, resulting in a pot of 2,400. The flop comes down as 5 queen deuce rainbow, giving us top. The small blind and big blind checks, we make a standard c-bet of 1,300. The button and the small blind sticks around, but the big blind gives up. The turn is the 8 of diamonds, with no significant change to the board. The small blind checks and we decide to check as well to pot control. The button player also checks, maintaining the pot at 6,300. The river reveals the ace of spades, giving us 2 pair of ace and queens. The small blind checks once more and we're going to try to get some value from our hands, so we place 2,100. The button decides to call our bet while the small blind falls. As a result, we won the hand with our 2 pair and secured a pot of 10,500, adding 6,500 to our stack. This hand showcases effective betting and pot management as we extracted value from our strong hand without overcommitting. Our well-timed bets allowed us to accumulate chips while avoiding excessive risk. This kind of strategic play can help you steadily increase your chip stack and maintain control over the table. In this hand, we are seated in the cutoff position with a stack of 51,800 and we are dealt queen jack offsuit. The blinds are at 100-300 with a big blind ante of 300. The action starts with the undergun raising to 700. We decide to call the raise, as did the button, while the small blind and the big blind makes the fold. The flop brings deuce queen deuce, giving us a strong hand with a pair of queens and a good kicker. The undergun makes a small bet of 300, which we call, and the button falls. So we're heads up to the turn. The turn is a 10 of diamond with no apparent improvement to our hand, and considering the paired board, Both we and the other gonna check, maintaining the pot at 3400. The river reveals the 6 of clubs, the undergun check once again, and we make a value bet of 2000. Our bet was enough to prompt the undergun to fold his hand. The next hand we are seated in the hijack and we are dealt ace queen of suit. With a strong hand we raise it up to 1100, the cutoff calls are raised, as did the small blind. The pot grew to 4100 with 3 players. The flop reveals the 10, 3, queen, 2 hearts, providing us with a pair of queens and an ace kicker. The small blind checks and we place a bet of 2900. The cutoff follows, but the small blind lets it go, leaving us heads up with the cutoff. The turn card is a 10 of diamond, pairing the board. Both we and the cutoff checks, keeping the pot at 9900. The river shows us the 6 of club. With our pair of queens still holding up, we decide to make a small value bet of 3000. The cutoff calls, resulting in a pot of 15,900, and as a result our well executed bets throughout the hand earns us a profit of 8,900 from this pot. By maintaining control of the pot size and reading the opponent's actions, you can maximize your gains while minimizing the risk. The action starts with a raise of 1100 from the player in the hijack. We are dealt 9, 8 of hearts and decide to call the raise, as did the button, the small blind and the big blind. This brought the pot to 5900 with 5 players. The flop reveals a 10-7 jack rainbow, and yes, we flop the nuts. At this moment we have the best possible hand. The small blind and the big blind checks, and we decide to put some money in the pot and try to blow up the pot as much as we can. So we bet 1100, the button folds, the small blind calls, and the big blind also falls, leaving us heads up with 8100 in the middle. The turn is a jack of spades, which didn't significantly change the situation. The small blind checks once again and we continue by betting 2600. The small blind calls again, bringing the pot at 13,300. The river reveals the 10 of clubs, bringing 2 pair on the board. That's a very bad card for us, because every jack, every 10, even pocket 7 gives us a full house, so that hands beat us. The small blind seems to seize the opportunity and make a bet of 6,500. After careful consideration, I don't believe we beat a lot of hands except a complete bluff. He easily can slow play a monster hand and choose to bet on the river. At the end, we choose to fold our hand, realizing that our opponent might have a stronger hand. Unfortunately, our decision resulted in a loss of 8,500. Unexpected, he shows 9-7 of suit, revealing that he was chasing a straight with bottom pair, and at the end he made a big bluff against us. This hence illustrates the importance of reading the board, assessing your own hand's potential, and making decisions based on the actions of your opponents. Although we faced a challenging river bet, our fold demonstrated the ability to cut potential losses, but in this particular hand we were wrong. We keep that in mind during the tournament and try to exploit the information of this hand later on the day.
Okay guys, first break of 30 minutes. The average stack is 55,000, we have around 60,000. Nothing major happened, or nothing special happened. The blind's gonna be 200, 500 big blind ante after the break, and then yeah, we're gonna keep running. Try to keep up at the average stack, but it's a long day. It's gonna be a long day, long journey, so we have time to move around. So okay, let's go.
I'm not gonna lie, the last hand still hurts, but it's time to move on and try to win some back. In the cutoff we are dealt King Jack of suit, the blinds raised up to 200, 500 with a big blind ante of 500. The action starts with a raise of 1200 from the player in the undergun +1. We make the call, as did the big blind. We go 3-way to the flop with a pot of 4100. The flop displays the Ace Jack 3 rainbow, giving us a pair of jacks with a good kicker. The undergun +1 player C bets for 1600 and we have an easy call while the big blind falls. This created the heads up situation and the pot now contains 7300. The turn is a 6 of diamonds with no significant change to the board. The undergun +1 checks and we choose to seize the opportunity by betting 2300. Undergun +1 calls, bringing the pot at 11,900. The river card is a 7 of hearts, completing the board. The undergun +1 checks once more and we want to be cautious since there is an ace on the table and the undergun keeps sticking around, so we check back. He shows jack 10, showing also a pair of 10, but our royal beats his jack and as a result we take the victory in his hand, securing a gain of 6,800. We find ourselves in the undergun with a stack of 61,600 and ace jack of diamonds in our hands. We open the 1,600 and the action escalates as the button decides to go all in for 11,200. The small blind falls and the big blind follows. We are facing a significant decision and ultimately we make a little loose call, resulting in a pot of 23,600. The button reveals that he has pocket 10s, setting the stage for a showdown and a classic race. The flop brings the 4 of clubs, 6 of hearts and king of clubs, no help on the flop for us. The turn is the 9 of spades, still offering the ace or the jack on the river for the win. The river reveals the ace from the spades, granting us the victory in the hand and the pot of 23,600 to boost our chip stack. We have to keep building our stack steadily as we continue to progress through the tournament. Couple hands later, after we get help from the spades, we look at the stack of 75,500 and queen jack of spades. Armed with the queen and the prince, we are ready to make our move. Our race to 2000 initiates the action and the button decides to stay in the game. As the small blind falls and the big blind follows the small blind, the stage is set for a head-to-head confrontation. The flop reveals the jack 7 of 5 2 clubs, presenting us top pair and a valuable kicker. We keep maintaining our momentum by betting 2000 and the button opting to call, setting the pot at 9,500. The turn is a 10 of hearts, introducing the potential for a straight on the board. We don't stop and take advantage of the situation, so we keep firing and this time we place a bet of 4,100, which the button matches. With the pot now at 17,700, all eyes are on the final card. The river brings a 9 of diamonds. We could be betting for the last time, but I think it's wise to check and hope that he checks back. Our checks gives him the opportunity to make a move and he responds with a bet of 12,500. Before we move forward, let me take you back in time. Do you remember the 9-7 offsuit man who bluffed us on the river against our flop straight? Well, it's the same guy. I told you guys that we may be able to use the information for in the future. Well, that time has arrived. Let's move back to the present hand. So he basically played the hand almost exactly like the hand before, and this time my spidey senses are tingling that he's making a move against us. As we are thinking about the last hand and about this hand, he leans back and tries to be as comfortable as he can like the other hand. So his play is exactly as the last hand and his physical behavior too. So I think we have a clear tell on him and this time we make the call, resulting in a huge pot of 42,700. At the showdown he reveals his hand as the ace 10 of suits. Gotcha! We may lost 8,000 the hand before, but his deadly mistake of the last hand by showing us his bluff cost him more chips and gains us almost 3 times more chips than we lost. This hand underscores the strategic prowess and ability to read the board and your opponents. The hand history combined with his physical tells gained us the victory. After this hand he almost gave up every hand against us when we were involved. So we showed him and the table to not mess with us when Royal Kaya is on his A game. With a stack of 94,900, we found ourselves holding the jack 9 of spades in the small blind. The action begins as under the gun, the cutoff and the button all limps for 600. We decide to match the 600 as well, and the big blind don't want to put some more chips in and checks. With 5 players in the hand and 3,600 in the middle, we go to the flop. The flop displays the deuce 6 deuce rainbow, leaving us with air. We check, the big blind, undergun and the cutoff follows my move, however the button takes the initiative and bet 1,500. We choose to call the bet, leading to the departure of the other players. This sets the stage for a heads up with a pot of 6,600. The turn reveals the 7 of hearts, and this time we decide to check with an intention. The button continues aggression with a bet of 3000. Seizing the opportunity, we stick to our plan and make a re-raise, since he can do this play with air as well and try to steal the pot. I think if we make a big re-raise, we also can let him fold a pair of 6 or even a pair of 7s. We can easily limp with a hand like ace deuce suited, or even maybe a combination like 3 deuce suited. We pump it up to 11,200 to go. This play proved successful as the button eventually folded his hand. Our strategic maneuvering earned us a gain of 7,500, showcasing the ability to control the direction of the hand and capitalize on opportunities. This hand underscores how to make a tactical play in assessing the board and your opponents. By making well calculated moves, you can secure substantial pot while pushing your opponents out of the hand. With a solid stack of more than 100,000 and sitting in a lead position, we get pocket threes. We choose to call and try to see the flop as cheap as we can. The button, the small blind and the big blind also comes along, resulting in a pot of 3,000 in a 4-way action. The flop reveals 3 deuce ace all hearts, giving us a set of 3s, but it's a very tricky and very dangerous flop. The small blind and the big blind checks, and we decide to take control and charge all the draws by betting 1,700. The button falls, but the small blind calls the bet, leading to the departure of the big blind. The pot is now 6,400 and we only have to battle against one player. The turn brings the king of clubs to the table, the small blind checks, and we continue to assert our dominance by betting 4,300. The small blind matches our bet and sticks with us. The pot grows to 15,000 as we proceed to the river. The river reveals as a 7 of hearts. That's one of the worst cards we can see. If he has any heart in his hand, he will be beating our set of 3s. He checks and we could try to bluff, but we don't know what he has, so we decide to check back since he followed us to the river every street. In the showdown, to our surprise, the opponent shows the ace of spades and 10 of clubs, so no hearts in his hand for a flush but only a pair of aces, which give us the win. Too bad the river was a heart. I think we could get some more chips out of him if it was a total break. This hand highlights the calculated decisions. By betting when appropriate and maintaining control of the hand, you can navigate the complexities of the board and your opponents. The ability to extract value from your strong hand while avoiding potential losses proved to be a winning formula. After successful hero calls and bluffs, our stack has risen along with our confidence and our game. We see that we have a favorable position to play as we are in a cutoff position with a substantial stack of 116,000, and the ladies keeps us company. Hopefully these ladies won't cost me money like my wife does. The action starts as undergun limps for 1,000, followed by a raise to 3,500 from the undergun plus 1. Seizing the opportunity, we execute a re-raise to 9,000. However, the button escalates the stakes by going all in for 42,500. Undergun plus 1 falls and we decide to make the call, leading to a substantial pot of 91,000. He shows ace queen of suit as we dominate him. The only immediate help for him is an ace. Hopefully this time the ace will stay in space. The community cards lay out the 6 of clubs, king of clubs and the 6 of hearts on the flop. The turn card is the deuce of diamonds and the river is the 7 of diamonds. My poker ladies triumph and make me money as we secure a gain of 49,500 in this intense hand. With the blinds currently at 1,000, 1,500 and a big blind ante of 1,500, we find ourselves sitting in the big blind with king 10 of suit. The hand begins as the undergun player limps, followed by the button and the small blind. Choosing to stay in, of course, we check, resulting in a pot of 7,500. As the flop reveals the 5 of spades, deuce of hearts and king of diamonds, the small blind checks and we follow. However, the undergun takes the initiative by betting 7,000. The button matches the bet, prompting the small blind to fold. Despite not having the best position, we have top pair and decide to call the bet and we will evaluate the later streets. The turn brings the 3 of spades to the table, we choose to check as does the undergun. The button then plays a bet of 16,000 which we match with a call. The undergun falls and the pot grows to 60,500. With the river revealing the ace of spades, we decide to check again. The button, sensing an opportunity, makes a bold move by betting 35,000. Ultimately, we choose to fold our hand, resulting in a loss of 26,000. This hand illustrates the complexities of poker, where strategic decision must be weighed against the cards on the table. While this particular hand didn't end in our favor, it provides valuable insights for the future play. As we progress through the tournament, let's remember that each hand is an opportunity to learn and adapt. The ability to analyze situations and make informed choices will undoubtedly contribute to your success in the hands that follows. Seated in a small blind with a stack of 73,000, we found ourselves with the ladies once again. Let's see if Royal Chaos Angels will guide us to victory once more. The hand unfolds with undergun raising to 4,500, followed by a call from the undergun +1. Seizing the moment, we decide to go all in with our stack of 73,000. This type of move might not seem strong and mostly indicates weakness, and that's what we want them to believe. The big blind falls. The undergun does this as well, but the undergun +1 makes a call, resulting in a substantial pot of 154,000 and putting our tournament life on the line. It's time for the showdown as we reveal our ladies against his ace of spades and king of clubs. Let's see if our dream of becoming the Belgian poker champion ends here. The flop reveals the 3 of diamonds, 6 of diamonds, king of diamonds. Unfortunately, we are not winning anymore with the king on the flop, but we do pick up some equity. Any diamond or queen on the turn would give us the lead again. The turn is the ace of diamonds, which gives us a flush but gives them 2 pair. Now we are ahead, but we need to dodge an ace or a king on the river. Otherwise, it will be time to pack our bags and leave the arena. The river card is a 5 of clubs and we hold on to win a huge pot. With this hand we triumphantly add 81,500 to our stake. This hand exemplifies the exhilarating and unpredictable nature of poker, where a favorable outcome results from calculated decision and a bit of luck. A small fun fact, the undergun player with the chase of Paw Patrol dog as a corporate director told me that he had Jack 10 of diamonds, so he would flop flush on the flop and be out of the tournament if you had managed to see the flop. Keep that in mind, keep the dog in your mind. I'm gonna tell you later why.
Okay guys, we made another day 2. If I'm not wrong, this is our 7th or 6th tournament. And we made 6 or 7 tournaments day 2 and 5 tournaments into the money, and now we made another day 2 and hopefully we can make another ITM day 2. We have 168, the blinds were gonna be 1,000, 3,000 at day 2, and the average stack is 130, so we are doing okay. We're gonna have like 50 big blinds at day 2. This is the trophy, the golden trophy. Time to go home, take some rest and come back on Thursday to play the day 2.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed the thrill of day 1. The Belgian Poker Championship is just heating up. The dream of becoming a Belgian Poker Champion is still very much alive. And with our stack, we're ready to showcase our skills in the upcoming battles. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like button to show your support. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss a single moment of the action. Join us in the next episode as we chase the championship dream. So Royal Kaya is signing off, but we'll see you at the tables in day 2. Until then, may the river be yours.